Powered by Arkansas, for Arkansas. This is Inside Arkansas Live.
And welcome into Inside Arkansas Live here on this beautiful day here in the great state of Arkansas. I'm your host, John Neighbors, alongside Curtis Wilkerson and Andrew Ellis, and appreciate each and every one of you for making us a part of your afternoon this afternoon, as we're going to have a loaded show for you today, recapping everything that happened over the weekend. We'll, of course, get into the chats and do a little vibe check presented by our friends over at Basis Health. We're also going to have the best and worst of the weekend presented by our friends at Looper Auction and Realty. We'll have an Alumni Hall question of the day, get into football, basketball, baseball, all the things happening from over the weekend. But hopefully everybody has stayed safe over the storms that have transpired yesterday. And it looks like you're going to have another round here today, at least locally in Arkansas. So hopefully everybody stays safe. But fellas, how are we feeling here on this Monday after a very eventful weekend?
Yeah, not too bad. You're right about these storms, man. It's crazy. The skies yesterday just looked absolutely insane out there. And then I got some hell at my place, but seeing some of the videos, John, I know you were putting some of them out there too. It was like a snowstorm of hell, man. It's kind of scary. I've never seen anything like that. And then it sounds like today might be worse by way of like the severity of storms and tornadoes involved. And so just stay alert, everybody. Like keep your TV on, or your radio on, whatever, if you're driving, and just keep an eye on the skies, man. It's gross out there.
Yeah, I had a great weekend, which sucks because, I want to be, normally after a great weekend on that Monday, you want to kind of walk out with your chest held high. You want to be in that good mood. Like, Monday is always viewed as the worst day of the week, but it can sometimes be the best day because you get to go back to your normal life and carry the good energy you took from the weekend. The weather's not allowing us to do that, and that's what I don't like. I'm sweating bullets from my internet, if I'm being honest, guys.
Well, yeah, just to know everybody, if internet goes out during shows or during streams, it's the storms. It's the storms that have come in. But wanted to remind everybody, because I know that they are heavy hitters. But for real, if any of you, we've even had people reach out, if you need roof inspections done, anything, not only today, but obviously tomorrow after these storms come through, hit up HD Roofing. That's what they're here for. They service the entire state of Arkansas. So hit them up. You can go to their website, hdarkansas.com. and get a free assessment and all of that. But yeah, they're out there. I know our guy Garrett, he's already busy and he's already up and around. So, but yeah, just to give everybody a heads up on that for those of you who may need it. So yeah, the weather has not been great. In fact, yesterday when that video, it was like a time-lapse video or whatever with that wall cloud or whatever it's called, I was like, dude, this feels like I'm in Independence Day. Like like this clouds that were coming through, thought a spaceship was about to roll through. Scary stuff. But that was like the thing of, I know the softball team, which we'll talk about moving to the supers, but I know that they had to be delayed, but thank goodness the baseball team had for once, a Thursday, Friday, Saturday series. So that way we didn't have to worry about any of those issues and those problems as they got it done against Tennessee, ended the regular season. But it was nice to see that, not only to get the series win, but to end the regular season number 2 seed and get it in before the weather got really bad there on Saturday as well.
Yeah, that was good to see. It's just so funny how quickly things can change, isn't it? I mean, remember sitting at Alumni Hall Friday and everybody was pretty frustrated and we're answering all these questions and doing these hypotheticals. And it's like, yeah, no, we know, but they're playing really good teams. It's just a play here, play there. And then they just, shove it up Liam Doyle's rear end, like Andrew was saying. And then they wind up taking the series there. And we're just like, this team's going to win the whole damn thing. I guess it's not even a question. It's just so funny how quickly things can change in any sport, but baseball. Like you have a 3-game series and you can be so freaking down after the first one, like everybody was. I mean, it was gloomy, dude, in Baum Walker that night. And look at us now on top of the world.
Yeah, man. And part of the conversation we were having as we were walking out of that game Thursday is like, man, in this league, there's really not that much separation. And so we get so high and so low, but really it's like these teams and their capabilities are the same. It's just kind of a matter of, hey, we're going to go out and play. We'll see what happens. And by the way, it's kind of a perfect tone setter for Hoover because Arkansas is about to go play a single elimination tournament there. And we're all kind of saying, now what do we like? What do we even want to happen? Do we want them to win in Hoover? Do we want all this? And so now it's kind of fun because I think that's, once we realized Arkansas was going to be potentially a national seed, the regular season stakes in whether or not the results worked out really stopped mattering, especially given how the regular seasons have played out lately. And so I think it's kind of the perfect way for this team to end the season, to just kind of remind us, hey, yeah, we're not incapable of beating good teams. We've just lost a couple close games against some good teams. Here we're going to go out with a bang, finish up a really good home schedule so far this year. It's a good vibe to get that vibe back, because to your point, Curtis, how negative it was Thursday. Think about if they had like won on Friday and then lost Saturday, the vibe at the postseason, whenever they came back to Baum Walker to play a regional, would be a little sketchy. You know what I mean? It would not have been a fun place to be. I think it was really important for them to kind of remind fans, hey, you like us, remember?
Yeah. Well, and you talk about the same thing with the way that it changes in a week and how the vibes. It's like baseball in general. It's fitting because you think about a game where you're down 2 runs, you're down 2 runs, and your final out and your final strike, and you got 2 runners at first and second. One swing, you win the game. But you go into, you're like, I don't feel good about this. Like I just, because you're down 2, it's like, oh geez. But one swing changes everything. It's kind of the same thing with baseball in the season. One series changes everything. One game changes everything. And Arkansas finishing 20-10 in the SEC, another 20-win season, a ho hum, another day at the office, 20 wins in the SEC once again. I think it was important, man. We knew that we want to win every series, but I think looking back at it in this way, I think it was just important for the fans' sake of having something to feel good about to end the regular season on, because we'll talk Hoover this week and what's going to be going on with that. But yeah, I agree, Andrew. Coming back to Baum in the regional, where you had ended the season losing, I guess, what was it going to be, 5 out of your last 6 or 6 out of your last 7, whatever that was of series, and then say if you went 1-2 in the SEC, everyone's going to be like, oh, and well, how are they going to blow it this time? It just would feel that way, but it was good to have it go the way it did, and also to have the bounce back where you won game 2 and 3. I think that was really, you'll take a series however you'd get, but to get down like that against a team and then to face the ace for Tennessee coming up in game 2, you felt like, hey, it was all going to go against you, but you found ways to win, and that was, to me, the most important thing.
Touched him up too, man. Like, it's not like you won a 3-2 game over that dude. I mean, just absolutely destroyed him. That was a really fun watch, man. It just goes to show you that any team can be frustrating. Like Arkansas can be frustrating, in a variety of different ways. The lineup can struggle at times, and they're not going to get the timely hits in certain games. And it's just like part of the game. But this group is so talented and so deep from top to bottom. To do that to Liam Doyle, I mean, he had nothing for him. And that's pretty damn impressive stuff right there, man. I was really impressed with what Arkansas did. And I'm excited about the regional too. I only have 2 requests: no purple, okay, and no random ass Big 12 school coming in there as the 2 seed. But you're probably going to get both.
The Kansas, you're gonna have Kansas in the regional, and then TCU in the super here is what it's looking like. But yeah, and I think also, to your point about how they touched up Liam Doyle, it's like what Arkansas has done is just, it seems sustainable. Like when they win, it doesn't feel like a fluke. You just kind of feel like you're like, as that series wore on, you kind of just realize, hey, Arkansas is probably the better team here. And I got to be honest with you, there's a lot of Hog fans, and I think they're probably well within their rights. Kind of felt that way about the LSU series. They were like, all right, Saturday got away from them, but like that Sunday game happened and we won that close game. They were running out of arms and we were feeling pretty good. And I think in a lot of these series, by the time you get to game 3, a lot of these teams have kind of blown their load a little bit, and Arkansas is still hitting. They're still making you fight for every out. They still have another arm to go to. Arkansas didn't even have to bring back Dylan Carter yesterday. They didn't even have to bring back Ben Bybee. They didn't have to use Colin Fisher. Like, there were a lot of things. I mean, Hunter Dietz, they didn't get a single out of them. The Arkansas didn't even need a ton of things to go their way for them to win that series against Tennessee. And so I think there's a sustainability with this group that you just kind of look at all the numbers on paper. They're pretty well-rounded. And you look at last year's team that was so dependent on a specific formula. It was a good formula. It was Hagen Smith being very good. That was the formula. But you were so dependent where it was like, if that doesn't happen, we're toast. Arkansas's had their ace stink in a lot of weekends, and they've won a lot of those weekend series. They've had Gabe Gackle have his struggles, and they've won a lot of those series. They found ways to win when they probably shouldn't have, which I think just gives you more confidence in what they can do moving forward. And I think this team, there's something to be said about going through a little bit of a lull there and still figuring out ways to win games. Kind of makes you feel better about their ability to do that in the postseason. And then on paper, you look at the numbers. Once you take that step back, you look at the overall record, you look at all the stats, and you're like, damn, this team is really good. And it's just crazy, like you say, how quickly the perception can change.
Well, and also looking at it, because I know we'll get to everyone's chat and I want to know question of the day, but here's the latest. We had to bring it up: the D1 baseball projections for the Razorbacks.
Nope.
As soon as I saw this, I'm like, kill me, just end it. This is so stupid. It's almost like they're doing it just to troll. Because seeing Kansas as that 2 seed, which Arkansas being the 2 seed overall is pretty. That would be the highest seed, at least that they've had since 2021. Obviously, when they were the 1 seed. But I don't know if they've ever been the 2 seed, Andrew. Maybe you can check me on that. But I don't remember any time that they were ever a 2 seed. So
they've done 3 and 5 a lot.
Yeah.
They like to do 3 and 5. I don't think they've done 2.
Yeah. So we'll see what it actually plays out to being. But yeah, having Kansas as the 2 seed in your own regional, then Creighton, which is another team that they have faced in their own regional before, as well as Wright State. So a lot of experience there. Yeah, if Arkansas was able to make it through the regional, which they will, they would probably face the winner of the TCU, which I don't know. Do you guys remember that TCU game a few years ago in postseason? I can't remember. Something happened in that one. But
I remember that one. I also remember TCU's ace, Tommy Lepore, pitching extremely well against Arkansas and Arlington this year. Righty that throws 100, and it's an easy 100. Now, Arkansas's faced a lot of arms like that since, so maybe they'll be more prepared. But and Arkansas won that game, by the way. Kahio Loy had a huge 2-run double to win it. But like both of those teams played in Arlington, there wasn't a ton of separation between those two teams either. So buckle up for another one if that's what it is.
Is Oklahoma a sneaky 3 right there?
So they're a sneaky 3 because they have possibly the best, one of the best prospects in the country on the mound, Kyson Witherspoon, who honestly, Arkansas's performance against Liam Doyle might win that guy SEC Pitcher of the Year because he has his ERA under 3. Liam Doyle's ERA went from like 2.6 to 3.4 overnight. And so that Witherspoon kid's, he's got a chance. I think Liam Doyle still might, but like him and Liam Doyle are the 2 best pitchers in the SEC. They're going to be first team all SEC. And so like them as a 3 seed, like if I'm TCU, I'm looking at them and I'm like, damn, that's tough. If they got to a super, they've lost a lot of series to good. Pretty much every good SEC team they've played has beaten them in SEC play. So if like seeing that team in a super, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't want to see them as a 3 seed in Arkansas, which obviously they're not going to be. But like that's a nightmare 3 seed.
Yeah, it looks tough. And hopefully Trey Richardson is no longer there, right, at TCU. Like
He's not. No.
Okay, just making sure. Still got nightmares about that guy. But so yeah, that's what you're looking at as far as the projections from D1 baseball. And here's the official SEC tournament bracket that Arkansas was able to get the 2 seeds. So they will play on Friday at 3 p.m. Actually, no, they're not. They're going to play whenever they play on Friday.
5:53, maybe.
Yeah, like I said, about 3 hours past that. But they will be facing off against the winner of the Ole Miss and the winner of South Carolina, Florida series game there. So who knows who you're actually going to end up playing. But either way, at least it's nice to wait till Friday. And then if you win that one, you'll be facing off against more than likely LSU. But who knows really in the SEC tournament. But either way, that's set up.
Does the new format change how we feel about Hoover? Like, is it like if you look at that bracket right there, you're just like, dude, just go win the thing. Like, why the hell not? Or are you still, let's just get out of there? And
I don't know if it changes the way we feel because I think big picture it's still kind of the same concept, but it's I don't know. Like, I think it's easier to just win one because you just got to lose once. You just got to lose once and you can get out of there. And so it's like you kind of just want to win and then you'll accept the loss when it comes. Whereas like if you have to lose twice, then the mental gymnastics are a little bit more complex. And like you say, like it's you don't like there's a very small minimum of like what you can play. Like it's not like you could play 6 games here.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah. So I'm reading this right. If you win 3, you win it all. Is that kind of how it is for Arkansas?
For Arkansas, yeah. Right. Okay. Because they're in the quarters already.
Right. Yeah. So So hey, listen, it's whatever it takes. Just get out of there healthy. How about that? Just that's
okay, Curtis. I was thinking about this. Florida is the type of team that's in a horrible situation because they're kind of locked into. They're going to make the tournament. They're going to be in their specific range. There's not much that can be gained, but they also have a bad enough conference record where if they were going to win the tournament, they'd have to win 5 games.
Yeah.
And that's where it's like, that's where you have to really think about it. And it's in a team if you get that double bye in your top 4 and the most you can play is 3, it's honestly like nobody should be pissed if they win.
Right.
No, it shouldn't be, but somebody will be. Somebody will be like, "Oh, yeah, this is awful."
It's,
Remember what happened last time?
Yeah, it's the same way I feel about the SEC basketball tournament. Like the last few years here, I've just kind of been like, whatever, win one, and then whatever happens, happens. But those couple years there where they got that double bye, I was like, win this thing, man. Screw it. Let's get the banner. Why not?
I mean, one of the best teams ends up winning it like every time, just
Right.
about, you know what I mean? Every now and then you see a team go on a crazy run, but in the basketball tournament, it's been a lot of the good teams that just are already there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here's what I've always felt about it. Either go over and get out or win it all. Just either one. There's nothing got to be worse than going through all the stages to get to the title game and then losing. Because then it's like you did nothing.
Yeah, don't do
Nothing.
that. Right.
Don't do that. Either go over or win it all. Those are the only two options. But I know we'll talk more about that as we get closer to the SEC tournament really getting going for Arkansas. But let's go ahead we'll get to the chats. But before we get to that, let's do our Alumni Hall question of the day. Presented by our friends over at Alumni Hall. Had a great time there Friday. So many of you came and said, hey, what's up to us? And that made us feel really good. But the main thing that you probably went there for was to get the awesome Razorback apparel, which they have plenty of, especially for the upcoming regionals that are going to be happening in Fayetteville. So check them out at 3417 North College Avenue. You can also shop them online at alumnihall.com/Inside Arkansas. Use that promo code HOGSMY20 for 20% off of all the greatest Razorback gear you can have with Alumni Hall. So just a simple grade question, not the regular season. It's just regular season, folks. And I made sure to put it in all caps to make sure that happened. Somebody still did not read it, but that's okay. But at least I did my part. As far as the regular season goes, what grade do you give Razorback Baseball? And I also only put up the reasonable grades because I'm not putting up a D or an F because anybody that says that, you're stupid. So I did A+, A minus, or B+. And as of right now, 50% of you say A, 30% of you say A minus, 10.5% of you say A+, and 9.5% of you say B+. So there you have it.
I feel like A is the right answer.
I do too.
If they won the SEC regular season title, I'd say A+. I think that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
Personally. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, A feels, 20 wins in the SEC is, you were saying it earlier, John, about how it's, another ho-hum. And we almost take it for granted, but that's so freaking hard to do. That it's pretty awesome place to be as a program where you've come to semi-expect that. But yeah, man, they've had an absolute hell of a year. And I think the only other thing they could have done is just won the SEC outright.
Yeah, another thing I think about is because honestly, we didn't even come into this season being like, hey, let's finish first in the SEC. Like we never even talked about the regular season. So you could almost argue if they had gone all out and won the SEC, we kind of would have been annoyed by that. I think the goal of this regular season was to make us feel as good about our team as possible. The only thing they could have done better in that regard is give us a little bit more of a warm, fuzzy feeling with the starting rotation. Give us a little more, make us feel a little bit better about that. And so I'm looking at it from that standpoint and to your, the standing standpoint. There was literally only one more thing they could have done. And so, yeah, I think A is the correct answer. And also, I think the context of some of the injuries that happened, some of the things they had to battle through. I think all things considered, they gave us a little bit of everything this regular season, and they showed us a lot. And I'm very, very pleased with it. And that's basically what yesterday's bombastic was, is just looking at the big picture and just being like, all right, the regular season's over. Here's where they ranked in this. Here's where they rank here. Here's where they rank here. And just looking at it and being like, we all would have signed up for this preseason.
Well, and it's funny too, because, you're talking about how it's compared to previous years and all of that. I mean, it's insane, because the question I've always had is, the SEC gotten better or worse as a conference in baseball in the past 5 years? I would say it's probably improved mostly, or at least at worst remained the same. And Arkansas has been, I know they got to win the title, but there's not been a team that has done and been more consistent in the regular season in this conference at success than Arkansas. I mean, you're talking about Tennessee this past year, had a great year, solid year, even though we don't tell Tennessee fans that. But, they're down there barely above 500. Arkansas's gotten 20 wins. 20 wins. That's just wild. It's incredible. And if you add that, I guess you couple that with the 22 wins in 2021 and then the 18 wins in 2022, it's literally an average. 5 straight seasons of 20 wins. Insane. Absolutely insane. So, but yeah, we're on the right side of history for that.
I was just going to say, A&M, if they had just simply done their job and swept Missouri, you'd be looking at 14 NCAA tournament teams. Which again, that that's a hypothetical, but also it's like it's not like they would have stolen that bid from someone else. They would have just beat Missouri. So it literally,
man,
It's not his fault.
I know that is a great still though. Someone screenshot that, please.
That looks really good. Someone get on that right now.
No, that's
Damn
so
it, he's
great.
back. Somebody got it.
Yeah,
Damn.
okay, someone
Or
got it.
rewind a little bit. Yeah,
it wasn't my fault, Curtis, and you're correct about that.
not your fault, dude.
Not
Yeah.
your
No, it's
fault.
not my fault.
It's crazy. It's volatile out there.
It was very important. I was just going to say, it's one thing to just say, hey, there's all these NCAA tournament teams. Everybody's good. It's another thing to be on the upper echelon of that also. And there are very clear tiers in the SEC standings. If you just look at it, there's teams kind of jumbled up at the top, teams jumbled up in the middle, and then teams jumbled up at the bottom. Arkansas is at the top end of what is the deepest possible pool in the SEC in the country. It's it's Arkansas could not have positioned themselves better, honestly.
No, not at all. And I'm excited about it. I'm looking forward to it. I think that they did a really good job in the regular season. They did what they were supposed to do. Was it perfect? No, but they did what they were supposed to do. I think everyone would have signed up before the season started, getting the 2 seed in the SEC and winning 20 SEC games. Everyone would have signed up for that. So, and if you say no, you're an idiot. Plain and simple.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and get into the vibe check of the chat presented by friends over at Basis Health, where they are changing the way healthcare is delivered by providing mobile medical visits to the comfort of your very own home. Doctor will come to your home for urgent care, primary care, IV hydration, and so much more. Basis Health, they're here for you when and where you need them the most. You can learn more at basishealth.org today. All right, so getting in some of your chats, Hunter Acio is coming over here, says, why not go out and win the SEC tournament, especially with the new format and our double bye? Kind of what we were discussing there.
I might log my prediction for Arkansas to win the tournament and people to be mad about it.
Yeah,
that's what I think we're headed towards here.
It would be like a weekend series, really. And honestly, well, that's actually not true. I was gonna say they might not even approach it from that standpoint. What do you think? You think they will keep people on like a strict, I don't know, like pitch count and not not overextend anybody? Maybe that for the first game or two, but once you get to the championship, like you're playing to win, dude. If you get to the final, I feel like all bets are off, kind of.
A little bit. I think Root is. I don't think Root's going to throw more than 80 pitches.
Right.
I don't think Gage Wood's going to throw more than 80 pitches. And then once you get to the title game, I think no one would even get in danger of throwing 80 pitches because they'd be approaching it. They'd be what they did the other day, where it's like Wood for 2 or Wood for 3, Beidelshees for 2. Matt, it's like they'll start piecing it together that way. You'll see some Tate McGuire. You'll see some Steele Eves. Big Tuna's definitely pitching this weekend. No reliever should throw more than 3 innings.
Right.
They should really space it out pretty well. You're not bringing guys back a second time. None of that.
Also to Hug this from Heartbroken Hog. He said, what's wrong with playing Kansas? We beat them in our worst sport. Should we beat them with our best sport? Well, you do own Kansas.
That's actually a great point. Yeah. It's
Kansas, now that they're a 2 seed, I like. I know it's the same team. They were being projected as like the highest rated 3 seed at one point. I'm like, I don't want them as a 3 seed. I don't want to face 2 teams that are 2 seed quality. Now that they're a 2 seed, I'm like, okay, cool.
I'm fine with it.
I know that sounds stupid because it literally is it's the same team that has it, but conceptually it's way different.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Also, Hunter Acio wants to know, would winning the SEC tournament get us the number 1 overall seed? I think it would, right?
I don't know for sure. Texas not only
again.
What'd you say?
If you beat them again in the process, 4 head-to-head wins. I don't know if they value that or not, but
and it'd be a win over LSU.
Definitely, if you're splitting hairs, it would. And the only problem is Texas would be losing to a top 5 RPI team.
Yeah,
on a neutral site. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how much Texas would fall down. Texas also not only has the 2-game lead, they have a bunch of series wins. Like they didn't lose series outside of Arkansas. Like they have wins over all these teams that are in this mix. And so if you jumble them all together, Texas probably still, but it would be in play, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, listen, 1 seed, 2 seed doesn't matter. At least Tennessee broke the whole curse of being a 1 seed, not winning at all. So it would make people.
I kind of like that too.
Yeah, no, I do too, because they've never been the 2. So let's go with the 2.
We're still a combo guard, though. Make no mistake about it.
That's right.
Hey, I have a thought real quick. Yeah. Since we're doing the Basis Health thing, and I think I saw Dre in the chat. I thought about this as I was sitting in urgent care Saturday, and I was like, man, this might have been a perfect time to hit up Basis Health. Just have them come to me, bleeding from the leg. I don't feel like driving out there and, sitting in the office all day. I wonder if that's something they could take care of. Dre, if you're listening, do you guys come out and treat dog bites? Just curious.
Listen, I know they do urgent care, and that seems pretty urgent.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
So yeah. Well,
if it would have crossed my mind, and I'm mad that it didn't, I'd have called him on the spot. And I'm like, all right.
Yeah. Well, we'll get the answer from Dre, and so we can know then. But let's see. Also, David wants to know: would you start Hunter Dietz the first game? Give him experience, save your arms for regionals, plus gives you a good chance to bring his best if he brings his best.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think I think Zach Root's going to throw at some point in Hoover. It's just a matter of like if he's just going to throw a little bit. They're not just going to completely not pitch a lot of these guys, and I don't really think. I don't even think that's like the way to go about it. I think if you wanted to rest Zach Root, you'd throw him 2 innings or something like that. And so like if you're going to start Zach Root, you might as well start him on Friday, and then get him ready to start the next Friday potentially or that Saturday. And also Hunter Dietz was throwing 91, 93 the other day. And with the way it went, is that really the move? I don't know. I think they would try to get him a low leverage inning, but I don't know about starting him. Plus, he's going to be on a pretty firm pitch count himself.
Also, I just want to bring this up because I don't even care about the context. Fishman just said, I got electrocuted by a 440 volt electric box earlier. Hopefully you're okay, Fish, man.
Glad you're still with us.
Yeah. Let's say if you've turned into a superhero, though, let us know. I'm pretty sure that's how they got Electro from Spider-Man. You guys he's out there getting shocked by stuff like that. So I hope you're okay, Fish, man. Jeez. Glad you could still tune in to listen and hang out with us after getting electrocuted like that. Also, Hickory Hawk says, Twitter is not ready for the Diamond Hogs to win at all. There will be literally nothing anybody can say to us. The chip is all that's missing from the best college baseball program ever. What he's saying.
He's onto something. He's certainly onto something.
Yeah.
Great profile picture still.
Yes. It'll be great. And you know what's also great about winning in baseball? No, it's not as big as football, basketball, and all that, but it's going to just carry all summer, because there's not going to be any other sports going on that, it's like, oh, okay, now we got to get ready for football. Or no, it's like, you'll have time. It'll completely simmer and set in, and it's going to make your summer great the whole time.
If Dave Van Horn gets a ring, it automatically gives Sam Pittman an extra year.
Yeah.
That's
of course.
Anything that happens in football season, people are going to be like, yeah, well, DVH though. They're not going to care.
How many people are going to be like, hey, DVH, have him coach football. So I'm bringing the head coach.
Mm-hmm. Well, dude, to the point of the chatter, there's so many stats that we don't cite because we have such an obvious rebuttal of you haven't won the title. But like, if Arkansas has the title, now all of a sudden we can start being like, hey, literally no one's won more games than us this decade. Literally no one's won more conference games. Nobody's won more postseason games. Nobody's won more whatever. Nobody's been to Omaha more. Like all of these things, we start having a bunch of things that we can say that we simply can't say now because people would just say, yeah, but you haven't won the title. There's a very obvious yeah, but after anything we would say now.
Yeah. Also, too, this one's on Twitter. I guess this person can't get on the chat. I don't know. I'm just going to read it. But just wanted to know, Curtis, your thoughts on Boogie Fland officially visiting Florida. Do you think he takes any other visits anywhere else? And do you think Florida is going to land Boogie Fland, or is he possibly going to go to another SEC team, which I hope he does not?
Gotcha. One, check out this morning's Pot at the Palace because I did talk about that quite a bit. So there's probably more detail there. I don't like that he's visiting Florida, but I'm not surprised by it. I mean, ever since he entered the portal, it's very quickly been like a Florida is your clubhouse leader type of thing. I'm not crazy about it. I'm not crazy about Boogie Fland playing college basketball anywhere else. It doesn't sit right with me. Guys like that don't typically transfer from John Calipari and play somewhere else, even if I acknowledge the fit at Arkansas doesn't necessarily make a lot of sense there. It's just him playing somewhere else. I'm not crazy about it. Do I think he's going to commit there? Probably. I think that's where it's trending right now. You never know what happens over the course of a visit. And, you never know where his mind is at and what his decision-making process looks like. Do I think he's going to take more visits? I really don't, guys. There's a dead period that starts on Wednesday where you can't take any visits. He's in Florida Monday and Tuesday, and then you can't take any more visits until June. And teams are like moved on to campus and everything by that time. You know what I'm saying? So I have a feeling that he's either going to like Florida enough to where he doesn't want to wait around for 2 weeks and go visit Will Wade or something. And he's just going to commit there, or then he could just run it back at Arkansas. Now, I think the odds there are about 99% that he would go to Florida, and about 1% that he would come back to Arkansas. I think that's about where we're at.
Also, I have a weird question for you, Curtis.
What's up?
So Boogie obviously has already moved out of his place at Arkansas, literally, right?
I'm sure.
I mean, the semester's over anyway. Even if he were returning to school at Arkansas, he still probably wouldn't be living on campus right now. So
DJ Wagner's storing his stuff for him.
But how does that work though? Like, can he return to the University of because I'm assuming he's back in the Bronx or whatever. But it's like, is he allowed to go back to Arkansas at any point? Like during this dead period we're talking about here, like. If he's technically, I don't know how that works.
That's a good question. I see what you're saying there.
Arkansas, that's just I go to school here.
I think he's. I guess because he's already been enrolled, then he would be okay there. But he's not enrolled for summer. Yeah. I don't think, or whatever. So that's actually a good question. And I was talking about earlier today. It's like he's not going to be able to visit anywhere else, but he wouldn't have to visit Arkansas, to go through that decision making process. So it's I'm having a hard time getting across exactly what I'm trying to say with Boogie. People get so mad at me. It's like, he's not going to fit with DJ and A-Cuff. I'm like, we don't know that, first of all, but I understand the issues there. It's like, we never thought he was coming back anyway. No, I get it. And I don't, and I didn't. It's just different for me, him going to the league, which is where everybody thought he was going, versus playing in college somewhere else. Like it does. It just changes things with me. It doesn't sit well with me. But I'm not blaming John Calipari for that. Like as soon as Boogie declared for the draft, hey man, he declared for the draft. Everybody thought he was going to be in there, including him. And Cal couldn't just sit around and wait on the hypothetical that Boogie Fland might decide to play college basketball. Like he had to lock up DJ. You had to have your veteran, returner in the backcourt with these freshmen and everything. You couldn't just put the offseason on hold for 6 weeks waiting on him when it's very unlikely that this scenario is going to play out. So it's not his fault. I just don't like it. I just think it sucks. That's all.
You married someone else because you thought that she was moving on,
Exactly.
She wasn't moving on.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I'll ask this too. Like, I feel like not that I care about Florida necessarily, but if he does his visit and he doesn't commit to Florida, is that more Florida screwing it up? I mean, it feels like they just have to do what they've maybe told him that they would do, and he's there. So if he doesn't commit to Florida, I feel like that's a huge problem for Florida.
I mean, if Arkansas were in Florida's shoes, we would feel that way, right? You get a guy to campus, and he goes there for 2 days, and then nothing happens. You're like, damn.
Well, they won't be able to escape the broke boy allegations. That's what it would be, right? Because you look at their roster, the keys will be handed to him, man. I mean, he'd be a starting backcourt piece for the defending national champions. There's no competition there for him. Can they give him enough money to entice him to do that is really the only question there.
Yeah, that would be my biggest thing is if one, they said that it would have to be one, they said that they would give him a certain amount and then they couldn't or didn't or went back on it, or two, that they went there and somebody gave him just a ton of money, just a ton of money somewhere else that was more, and he went there. I feel like those are the only two options, but the ball seems to be in Florida's court, and if they don't do it, then something happened.
By the way, Fishman, the difference is when they both declared for the draft, we expected Carter Knox to return to school, and we still do, obviously. And they announced it he announced it with the U of A. It was a very different thing. When Boogie declared for the draft, we all assumed in that moment, and you can go back and pull up the receipts, we all said, yeah, he's probably going to stay in the draft. This makes sense. He's projected as a potential first rounder. Okay, yeah, he'll go to the draft. Those expectations have now changed, or at least for Boogie, because obviously he's coming back. But in the moment, we thought Carter was coming back all along, so we're willing to wait on him. Didn't think Boogie was gonna play college basketball, so you were less inclined to wait on him.
Yeah, it's exact, and it kind of goes back to what I just said. It's very different for me now because Boogie's playing college basketball instead of going to the league. If it was stay or pro, then it's whatever. And that's the thing here with Carter Knox. Carter Knox did not enter the transfer portal. He doesn't have any other options. He's either in the league or he's back at Arkansas. As soon as Boogie gave himself that leverage by entering the portal, I've been all over it since day one. Hey, this dude needs to stay in the draft. Or I'm going to tell you guys right now, I'm going to be pissed about it. Well, he's not staying in the draft, and I'm pissed about it. So
very consistent there. Also, to Hickory Hog says, who was the last basketball player to transfer out of Arkansas and get drafted? I can't remember any in the new portal era. I don't think that there ever has been, at least not in the portal era, because most of the guys, not hating on them, but most of the guys that transferred out weren't like bona fide NBA dudes. Like it was just more of they were solid players at best. So,
Rodney Clark get a G League contract?
Yeah, I don't know.
Did the kid that got kicked out and went to Middle Tennessee, did he get drafted or no? He wanted to be in. Yeah, he didn't get drafted, did he?
He was a good player in college, though, but he didn't get drafted.
Yeah, he may have been the best example or closest example to it because he was like player of the year in the Sun Belt or whatever it was. So
that's a really good question.
Yeah, but to answer your question, Hickory Hog, I don't think anybody has ever done that. So this could be a first there too. So we'll see. But either way, I like this. To Heartbroken Hawk says Ellis never freezes when he's actively talking. So it's like clockwork, man.
It's not 100% true. Like there has been times, but like it's rare that I see the thing pop up when I'm not talking.
It's true. And because Chris also says that's probably why Andrew froze. This man was getting fried by an electric box mixing his Wi-Fi.
Fishman is the saboteur of right there. He did it again. It's crazy, bro.
Yep, it's gonna happen. Got to happen. So, all right. So we'll get to more of your chats, but I feel like because one of the latest comments actually was asking about it. Let's go ahead. We got to talk about it because we've been discussing it for a good amount of time. We'll do a part of your Arkansas update presented by Davis and Garrett Insurance, your independent auto owners insurance agency, securing what matters the most. The Razorback Raffle officially ended, and they had a winner, and it was a good amount of money. Close to $300,000 is what actually ended up being the raffle. About close to $150,000 is what the winner actually ended up having. And ironically enough, shouts to the Connors, the wife sold me 2 tickets to the game on Saturday. I gave to somebody, and they ended up winning it. She was the one that ended up winning it. So cool for them, from El Dorado and all of that. And
like she should be in position to hit you back with that Venmo or something, Just
I was kind of like half joking about like, hey, get that, but who knows when they actually get that check? It could be next year for all we know. So, but either way, it was a topic of discussion. A lot of things were talked about with what it was going to do, and I'll admit it was a lot more than I thought it would be. It really caught on during the baseball series itself because I want to say, guys, that going into the first game, it was like 50,000, maybe at most, maybe less than that. And then it ended up ballooning day over day over day, and ended up having a huge, reception. And the people that were there at the game actually ended up winning, which was really cool. We got a big old check and all of that. But either way, I think that a lot of people also wanted to discuss, of course, the Hunter Yurachek tweet. It's kind of small to see here on the screen, but he tweeted out, he said, well, I guess we knew what we were doing after all. Congrats to the winner and all those who worked so hard to make it happen. Our state legislature, the Razorback Foundation, our department's external team, our legal counsel, and our game day volunteers. #1Razorback, as that's what the Razorback Raffle ended up being. But either way.
Hey, how about shout out to all the Razorback fans that donated to the cause there, the Razorback fans that continue to fund everything going on here. And then maybe we don't make a low rent shot at arguably your biggest donor that you have. It's just, why do we have to operate that way? Because this was cool. This was a good thing. This was way more successful than I think they probably thought it would be, than I thought it would be. This is awesome stuff. The Razorback fans deserve the flowers here for being all in on this. And, why does this have to be about you, bro? You got to have thicker skin than that. If you're going to be the boss of this thing, and you still got this entity out there who, was trying to help, and like it didn't work out for a multitude of different reasons. But how do you think they feel right now, seeing that tweet right there, and they're still, investing or donating millions of freaking dollars to the cause? It's like you're not giving the fan base who just donated $300,000 damn dollars to this thing, in the middle of a random baseball series in May. Is this everybody's just rolling in dough out here? And then you're going to take a shot at these. I mean, what are we doing? It just would have been a success, and that would have been all right.
Yeah, Curtis, you're absolutely right that the fans obviously deserve a lot of credit, deserves to be celebrated. And also, their part of the equation was never in question. we never questioned the likelihood that Hog fans would step up and participate in a raffle. That was the whole premise we talked about all along. We knew that this would be a big success, and we felt like, hey, this could be an opportunity for you to really make a lot of money for NIL. That's the part of the conversation we wanted to have. We never said, hey, you're only going to raise money if Carleton does it. We just thought, hey, if Carleton does it, maybe we can make the most possible money and it would go directly to NIL. All this. This is a straw man argument, and it's shifting the conversation and making it about something that would like, that's nobody ever was like, hey, y'all aren't going to be able to make a lot of money doing a raffle. You're like, we're the ones who gave you the damn idea.
Yeah. Yeah. I was so annoyed by that. Like,
That's the word.
Because it's for all the reasons you said, Curtis, but this comes across as just the same, the thing that we've talked about, how fans feel. This came across as you would rather be right than do what's right. And you're so petty about this, where I understand maybe some things went on, maybe some things were said. It got political, all of this stuff. But as an athletic director, you are essentially a politician yourself, because one of your main jobs is fundraising. That's what one of your main things to do is. Yes, you hire and fire coaches. Yes, you run the athletic department, but you got to make money. You got to fundraise money. And to do that against SARACEN, who is very evident, it's not like, oh, we just say we're giving a lot of money. No, you can't walk anywhere on that campus in any of those athletic facilities without seeing the SARACEN logo, because it shows how much they give. And you just take a shot like that. I'm like, what are you doing, dude? Why? Why was that necessary? Why would you do that? You could have just said nothing. You could have just said, hey, look how great this was. Look, we appreciate everybody. But you took a shot for no reason. You're just snarky, petty nonsense where it's not about what's right. It's not about fans. It's about you being right. That's all you care. It's about you being right. And you flexing your muscles on something so dumb that, you listen, $140 some odd $1,000. That's awesome. That can probably afford the left leg of a 5-star linebacker that you could probably use. But the thing is, it's not going to go towards the left leg. It's going to go towards other stuff too. I just was really disappointed in that. I know that I have been critical, and we have been critical of Hunter Yurachek. I'm not the biggest fan of his right now. And I get that and I accept that. But I just felt like this was so stupid and petty and completely and totally useless. Like, this did nothing but do more damage to how people feel and how people view. Because not only that, guys, real quick, but I understand this was a shot at SARACEN, Carleton, all that. But there is a lot of fans in the state of Arkansas that are on the same side with Carleton and SARACEN that feel the same way. And essentially, you were taking a shot at them too. You're taking a shot at them and be like, oh, yeah, your criticisms, well, we know what we're doing. I guess you guys are a bunch of idiots. Man, it almost goes back to what we talked about before. The arrogance, the from your pedestal, looking down upon everybody else. It just was really disappointing. And it could have been something just so cool, but then he had to almost like sour it with that tweet at the end of it. So just disappointing that that's what it was handled.
And like you said, it ruins what should have just been like a cool thing that we could all point to and be like, hey, you know what? They raised a ton of money. I think it's the largest raffle in college baseball, which I'm sure it wasn't a huge amount before, but it's like, that's a cool thing. And it also makes you think, man, what could they do if they do this thing right during football season? Like what could be the ceiling on this thing? But instead it's like taking a victory lap for, the meme of the guy who's standing on third base, or they're like, it's everyone's standing, they win their award. He's in like 9th place and he's celebrating and popping champagne. It's like, that's what's happening right now. It's like, dude, it's not about, hey, we all did this. Let's keep doing this. Let's make a bunch of money. It's like doing a victory lap after one victory is crazy.
Yeah, it is, man. And, but we'll see how it goes in the football season. It could end up being great for them and all of that, but just want to reiterate to everybody out there so everybody understands. And this is my main thing, because I know we'll have some more chats to get into. If you want to know what it goes towards, it does not go to NIL, quote unquote. It goes towards foundation. It goes to compensation for student athletes, scholarships, financial aid, all of that. But as the Rule 6 says here, general support of the institution of higher education's athletic teams or programs, which that can mean anything, as well as purchase, maintenance, repair, debt service, or construction of the institution of higher education, collegiate athletic property, facilities, and equipment. So for those of you who played it that thought it was all towards NIL, it's not. So just want to make sure that everybody understands
like
that.
Which a lot of people.
Best case, a portion of it can go towards revenue share, which is not,
Mm-hmm.
So.
Exactly
Yeah,
right.
that's true. And
Which
it's
is something you're gonna have to pay anyway.
right. Exactly. That's exactly right. And it just sucks, man, because it is like this thing was going through courts and legal channels and everything like that. And like people are going to be upset, when this happens. But, like Carlton didn't take his ball and go home after this. He didn't pull all of his, you know what I mean? And so at some point, just kind of let bygones be bygones or whatever, I guess. I don't know that there was a need there. You can take your victory lap without doing that, but whatever. I don't care. I'm more upset about the fan aspect of it because they're the one, like, the same fans who, that represent the people who've also been taking the shots at Hunter and everything. First of all, that's just what happens when you're an athletic director. If your football program stinks and they want the coach out and he's not getting fired, you're going to catch heat for it. If if NIL is a problem and you're supposed to be the guy raising the funds, you're going to catch heat for it. You got to have thick skin in this business. And you also got to have a little bit of awareness, man. He could have, at the bare minimum, when he's thanking everybody else, like, thank the fans over the course of the last 4 days who raised nearly $300,000 to this cause that is going to help us do something we haven't otherwise been able to do ourselves. That's what irritates me about it.
Yeah. And then also it's like, this is not a good time to antagonize the fan base.
No,
especially entering a football season that is going to have a lot of pressure on it and going to have you and a lot of other people's jobs on the lines. It's like, I don't know if you want to piss off, supporters and the fans, and definitely not, ones that have a lot of money and the fans that maybe don't have a lot of money, but still put what they had towards you. I would want to be thanking them and being on their side and not creating these little battles everywhere I can.
Yeah. And last question I'll have, because I know we'll get to some of the chats that people have. I just have for you guys. And if I'm because I can be sometimes very petty myself and look at the stupid things that are small that bother me. But if I'm wrong about this, let me know. But I feel like it's also kind of weird that they don't do a live drawing for it. I know they said they have this like random number randomizer that they do, but I've always felt like raffles, they do those things, the live drawings live. So that way everyone knows there's no rigging. There's no, it's like, hey, here's the number right here. Like, that was something that I was a little bit like, because, I made the joke that if I had put money in and they had pulled my number and saw I won, then there ain't no way I'm just seeing a dime of that money. But, or if it's like, hey, the winner is Ozzy Maverick. I mean, come on, man. Like, we couldn't really go down that route. So that would be another thing I'd also suggest. Do a live drawing, because to keep from any sort of rigging happening.
U of A, you've got to show us by giving us a controversial raffle winner.
Oh man, that would be
the Dallas Mavericks need to win the next one that they do. So,
oh man. All right, a few of your chats here, folks. Appreciate everybody jumping in. Heartbroken Hog, appreciate the super chat, man. He says, Hunter, your check shouldn't brag about Jack poop emoji. I can tell we can afford a top 25 recruiting class. That clown doesn't care if we become a G5 football team.
I mean, again, this is kind of what I feel about the whole, like, doing a victory lap this early in the thing and being like, in the context of the world we live in the athletic world that we live in college sports, like, kind of getting cocky after making whatever it was, $150,000 for your athletic department, knowing that everyone thought this was going towards being a game changer in NIL, where 150,000 means nothing, and it's not even going towards that. It's like, it's just very tone deaf. It's just very weird that it's like, oh yeah, sticking your chest out after this. It's like, you think that's gonna like all of a sudden get everyone to be like, wow, this athletic department's crushing it now, man.
Yeah, I wouldn't think, but I did like this from Marcus. He said Hunter's tweet was like Houston Dale Nutt saying, "I called that play, brother." I was like, "Yep, yeah, you know how to appeal my heart
in a way."
Also, Hog on it says the raffle fix was in after Vattel wasted 6 hours in the mound visits and pitching changes to get the numbers up. Dude, that's great.
Had nothing else to do but donate some more money, man.
Dude, what was the total game time this weekend? 10 hours? Like, at least 10 hours. I mean, game one was over 4, right?
Mm-hmm. It was either like, over 4, right at 4. Like, it was really right there.
And then game 3 was pretty long too, man. I think it was about 4 hours. Like, they played for about 10, 12 hours this weekend. It was crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, they had to have all the mound visits and the challenges and the rewrapping, the spraying of the bats. I mean, you got to get those things done, man. I mean, what can you expect? That's what baseball's all about. That's what people come to see. Transplanted Texan says Blake Edens would get you back with that Venmo, John. Wait, nah, he would give all of his winnings back to the foundation to each of his or her own if they don't follow suit. So, yeah, I think that he's talking about his tweet. I took his tweet as more of just like Blake's just saying, I'm trying to help the school win and whatever it takes to win. I don't know if he was basically like, oh no, I'll just give it back to right where it came from. I think it was more of like, I'm going to give it to where it needs to go to us to win, not to go to facilities or go to paying janitors, go out there to what it takes to win. So
I don't think that's my boy Blake.
Gotcha. Also, yeah, okay. I guess we talked about this, but David was like, of that $150,000 or whatever to the university, how much of that really goes to NIL? None. I mean, or it could be none, could be all. We don't know. Unfortunately, could be whatever they want it to be. And also, I thought there was another chat that there was. Oh, how we get to football and everything. But hey, shout out to Michelle. She says she can't listen at work, but she's glad to see the lights are still on over there. Stay safe, y'all. So
stay tuned. And so, in a few hours when you're trying to creep on me and Slim on the Ring camera, you ain't gonna be able to do it. You just have to trust us to take care of the household.
Yeah. Michelle leaves the house for 36 hours and just utter chaos ensues.
Yep.
I mean, honestly,
if the power goes out, then Curtis just becomes a caveman from from prehistoric times where he's just face painting the walls and starting fire in the living rooms. Like, yeah, that's what's going to happen.
Crazy.
Yeah. Also, I like this from Hogani because he was talking about, does anyone have a count of pickoffs from 2 first this weekend? Dude, I know for a fact it was at minimum 60. At minimum 60. I know that for a fact.
I think the game 1 total was around 30. Like, I think someone actually did do a thing on it, or at least for one of the games, and it was like 27, 28. Like, it was up there for game 1, and so 60 sounds about right. Which, by the way, that was a huge thing people talked about coming into the series. They were like, you think Tennessee doesn't know how to hold on runners, so you think Arkansas is going to steal a bunch of bases? Arkansas did steal, I think, 4 bases, which took them from 16th in the SEC to 14th in the SEC. So this team's got some wheels now.
Yep, they do. They do. I also love the fact that like almost all of those pickoffs, if not like probably 90% of them, weren't like, oh, darts to get over there and get it real quick. It was kind of just like throwing it over there just to push them back. It's like,
well, and then you had the most controversial balk call of all time where Wes Rucker was like, they need to throw this umpire in prison. Did y'all see his tweet? Yes. He was like, they should release a statement apologizing for this. And I'm like, for a balk call? All the bad calls we see in every sport every week. You think they're going to put out a statement because of a balk, which a rule that nobody even knows what it means? You think that's the one they're going to apologize for? Get out of here, bro.
Oh man.
I did insist on doing this. Yeah.
Crazy.
Nobody won yesterday, guys. It's
hate one.
Yeah. I wanted to tweet at him like the office meme of why are you the way you are? Like, just why do you do this, man? Because that's what I was laughing about too. Is like you said, Andrew, is the balk call. If it was like a tag or an interference call or something that you could physically see, but yeah, if this is a balk, there's just like this needs to be addressed immediately. This cost Tennessee the game is kind of the vibe that ended up happening. So it was annoying.
I could see Greg Sankey doing a press conference, and he's like, "Well, we all know the rules of balk. We all know, right?"
Yeah, exactly. But we'll get to more of your chats, folks. Let's go ahead and jump into our best and worst of the weekend, presented by our friends over at Looper Auction and Realty. They are hosting a consignment equipment auction on Thursday, June 6th at 9 a.m. at their new permanent facility down there in Alma at 5701, at Van Buren at 5701 Alma Highway in Van Buren, Arkansas. So buyers can expect heavy construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, everything, all the cool stuff that you wanted to see when you were a kid in the sandbox. Well, you're going to have the real stuff down there, and you'll be able to buy it as well. If you can't attend in person, that's okay, because bidding is available online at looperauction.com and Proxibid. So if you've got equipment to sell, call Looper Auction and Realty today at 479-996-4848. That's 479-996-4848. Looper Auction, sold in 30, closed in 30. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start off with my best of the weekend. We talked a little bit about the baseball, and obviously, shout out to Will McIntyre, man. I was so happy for Will McIntyre at the end of that game yesterday, or on Saturday, because I know Madison, his dad, and I know his dad, man. He was just an emotional wreck afterwards. He was so happy, but Will's been here a long time. I feel like he gets so unfairly ostracized and crucified because everyone thinks he's just the worst thing to happen, and he's not at all. The numbers support that. He's a good pitcher, and he came in, and I could even see the groans or see how people on social like, oh, I don't know about this. I don't know about this. Dude came in and just dominated, got fired up, had a few swear words to even throw around, getting everybody pumped. That was just awesome. In his final regular season series in Baum, that was awesome. That was great for his confidence for going into postseason. Could not have been better. Could not have happened to a better dude and a better fan. Like, that was just the best. So it was a great thing to beat Tennessee this weekend, and there was a lot of great teams plays, all that. But to me, my best was definitely for Big Will McIntyre, man, getting it done, because that was a really cool moment.
I love seeing how offended Tennessee fans quickly became when an FU is thrown in your direction.
I know. And it's
like, by the way, he did it because the dude tried to switch helmets mid ABs. Who the hell does that?
Yeah. And also,
all of a sudden you need a new helmet. What?
Yeah. And to your point, Curtis, it's kind of like, I'm not saying all officials do that, but I remember when Dietrich Wise sacked Johnny Manziel and did the dance and all that stuff, and they didn't throw a flag. I felt like it's probably the same way in this case, because they were like, yeah, dude, Johnny Manziel's I'm sure, like, yeah, this guy's a jerk. He probably deserves a little bit back at him. I bet you the umpires were like, yeah, these Tennessee guys are a bunch of punks. They probably deserve a little bit back at him a little bit. So they had to happen. But yeah, it was really funny. But I'm happy for him. It was cool, especially to see the way he did it. Didn't even give up a single hit. Final three in a 3 2/3 inning. So best for that. Big Will McIntyre. Let's do it again in the postseason.
Heck yeah. I like that one a lot. Mine, I'm going back to the well here, but it's JJ Andrews, the recent Arkansas commit. He dominated the EYBL this weekend over in Memphis. Got to tune into several of his games. He's, here's the thing. I felt, and we talked about this when we did our live stream, Andrew, that he might be a little bit underrated and could be a guy that could, get bumped back up there in the rankings or whatever. I think I was a little bit higher on him than some of the rankings, and I feel like I have underrated that kid. I mean, it's kind of unbelievable what he's done here. Sometimes if you don't go play at Link Academy or IMG or Montverde or one of those, well-known national schools on the, the EYBL Scholastic League, you don't get seen much during your high school season unless you get in some showcase tournaments or whatever. I don't think that Eric Bossi or Joe Tipton or who, I don't know that they're coming down and watching him play it in Little Rock. And so you get passed by guys. It's not that you drop, but it's that the other guys are seen. And so seeing, JJ sitting there at 42 and then watching him, he's going to get a bump. He's a 5-star. I'm telling you. Brad Beal Elite is an elite program on the EYBL. And JJ's been the most efficient player in the first 2 weekends that they've had down there. And he's showing alpha stuff now. And it's not just, hey, I'm stronger than you and more physical than you, so I'm going to get to the rim and finish through you. He can do that whenever he wants to, but he's shooting 50% from three, knocking down shots. He's serving as a pick and roll ball handler. He's the best defender on the floor. He's a go-to guy against the best players in the country out there. And he had some awesome performances. He might have gone for more than 30 on Friday night. Was just a crazy performance that he put forth there. And then watched him yesterday against a team, why not, who's got the number 3 overall prospect in the country, who Arkansas is also recruiting heavily, by the way. JJ gets hurt, rolls his ankle, misses most of the first half. He gets it taped up. He scores 17 in the second half and brings them all the way back. He's doing everything that you can ask for. And, it's kind of crazy to me how there's still people out there. It's like, well, he can't shoot. Well, he's shooting 50% what do you want from him? What do you mean he can't shoot? He's making multiple threes at 50% in each one of these games. He's been awesome. And as I watch him play in these events, I just don't know what else you need to see to give him that 5th star and bump him back up. I'm not saying that he's Tyron Stokes and you make him the number 1 player in the country or whatever, but he's on one of the best teams. He's the alpha. He's playing against the best players in the country, and he's freaking dominating. And there's very few actual holes in his game. He was tremendous. My expectations, sorry, you did this to yourself, dude. My expectations for you, JJ, your first year as a Razorback, have gone so much higher, like 3 steps higher from the time you committed to right now. He is really, really impressive. Can't give him enough credit for what he did, man. He looked awesome.
Love that. Love that. You know what's funny? I thought we were gonna like all be on the same page with our best of the weekend, and we all went Razorback related, but we all had different things, which I mess with. But of course, we gotta shout out the softball team. I think they're my best of the weekend. One, you're in game 2 against Oklahoma State, who everyone said like, hey, you got a rough draw having to play them. You're down 5-1. You're down 5-2 in the 7th inning. You force extras. You get the dub on. I guess that would have been Saturday. Yeah, it would have been Saturday. You deal with some weather. You come back on Sunday and you whip their ass 12-0. You advance to the Supers. Big deal. Shout out to our guy Stu Hogg, who has pointed out that of the last 5 years, Arkansas baseball and softball had the exact same regional fate, exact same record, 2-0 or 3-0, 1-2, 2-2, whatever. They had the exact same record in the regional the last 5 years. That's good news for the baseball squad. Also, Razorback softball, I believe, on their side of the bracket, they are now the highest ranked team left because A&M, the number 1 overall seed, they're out of it. LSU, they're also out of it as well. I believe Arkansas is the number 4 overall seed in softball, right? And they're the highest rated team left. Now, of course, they could potentially have to face Oklahoma in the final, who whipped them here in Bogle. That would be a cool little like coming full circle, beating the final boss type of thing. But as it stands today, I think Arkansas and Oklahoma are like the favorites to see each other in the College World Series final. And if Arkansas could just get to Oklahoma City, man, make something happen, it'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah. In fact, I was going to throw that in too, because it's cool to see how they came back and won in that way. Because I saw so many people are just like, oh my gosh, again, this team like it falls short again. Is that game 2 in baseball, softball doesn't matter. That game 2 in a regional is everything. It is everything. And for them to come back and win the way they did and then dominate was awesome. And it's so funny too, because like Bree Ellis, who's a finalist, shout out to her for the softball player of the year, top 3. I think it should be over with. She should win it because she's batting just a mere 470 on the year. But she like didn't even get to hit. They just walked her the entire time. Just insane. So the fact that they were able to win and your best player doesn't even really get in on the action because they're so scared to death of her. It is pretty crazy. So yeah, shout out to them. Shout out to Courtney Dyfel, and hopefully they continue it on. They have to face Ole Miss this weekend in Bogle, and so that will be the super regional best of 3. Hopefully they take care of business and move on to their first ever College World Series in Oklahoma City. So
they're doing it. They're doing it, man. Now Ole Miss did beat them to start SEC play.
Mm-hmm.
So this is another. And I think that might have been in Oxford, but this is another like they have to face that demon that beat them early in the season. You get over this one, you face Oklahoma in the final. I don't know. It's all kind of there right in front of them.
Yeah. And I also hope for it just for the fact of like Arkansas baseball beat Ole Miss in the super regionals in 2019. So, it's connected. I'm just trying to make it work.
I volunteer as tribute to go to Oklahoma City on behalf of Inside Arkansas. If it conflicts with baseball, what would it be?
It would be regional weekend. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'll go.
All right. Hey, boots on the ground across the plains.
It'd be electric, man. Why not? Day trips. Yeah, it's easy.
It would be awesome. Let's hope that happens. Worst of the weekend is actually, it was part of something you've already said, Andrew, but I'm going to elaborate on a little bit more. Texas A&M, dude, because not just them, but just their program in general this past year. I'm going to bring it up. Listen, I love my guys over at TexAgs. I'm just going to say, you're a Razorback fan. Hey, you've been disappointed and you're not sitting here, pumping your chest saying you're the best ever. But if you think about it, like their football team was fine. They weren't bad and they weren't great, but they were fine. Whatever. Basketball, you probably should have done a little bit better. A lot of people thought that you were going to be one of the best teams, if not the best team in the SEC. Didn't have really anything to show for it in the NCAA tournament. Your baseball team was preseason number 1, had everything, and you're sitting here flirting with not even making the postseason. You got swept by the worst team in the SEC in Missouri. That still doesn't make sense. And then in softball, the number 1 overall seed in softball, and you lost to Liberty, the Fighting Hugh Freezes. I mean, this is that's bad, man. That's bad. It's a tough year for Texas A&M fans where you either weren't great or the things that you thought you would be good in, you weren't. I mean, basketball, baseball, softball, you fell short. And so I'm not hurt. My feelings aren't hurt over it at all. But man, And it was a tough look. So my worst of the weekend was Texas A&M having all the facilities, all the money, all the stuff, everything that you could possibly want, and especially in the major sports, and nothing to show for it. So
Pass it back, Ags.
That man John said, my worst of the weekend is Texas A&M's entire year.
The university. The
entity, man. It's just, that's pretty good. It's kind of crazy when you think about it like that. Good grief. And then they lost Buzz Williams to Maryland.
Yeah, another thing.
Which, I mean, I don't know, whatever. I mean, my worst of the week, I got bit by a dog. That's obviously is my worst of the weekend. That's not a fun experience. And it was not a playful, snip. It was not a warning shot. No, that sucker sunk his teeth in real good for no reason. And that was not a lot of fun. I was just out on a run. I was listening to the baseball game and came out of nowhere. And yes, it was a pit bull. And it's a lot of people on social media, that's been a lot of the discord about like that dog breed needs to be banned, or there's no such thing as a bad dog. It's just a bad owner. I don't like, I'm a dog lover. So like, it upsets me because I advocate for dogs, like with my wife and everything. She was scared of my wiener dog when she first moved down to St. Louis. Like, she didn't have anything to do with that. And finally got her warmed up to him. And then I get, a chunk of my leg taken out. But yeah, that was scary, man. And I'm just thankful that, sometimes those dogs, they'll latch onto you and start, gnawing and shaking their head around. And he just bit me real good. And then I yelled about as loud as I could and called him an MFer, and he ran away. It's like, I'm glad he let go and went on about his business, but there's no owner out there, at that. It's like, I don't know whose dog it was or whatever. But that sucks, man. And it hurt and it was scary. I go on jogs every day, and I would say like once a week, like somebody's dog will, just like run out of the front yard or, run out on the sidewalk or whatever. And I guess it's 99 times out of 100 now, they'll just kind of run up and they'll bark once and then walk away, or they'll sniff and go on about their business. And you're not really supposed to run away from them. It's like, it's kind of like, stop, let them do their thing. I just try to be as non-threatening as possible, whatever. But dude just ran up to me and just bit me, man. And it was crazy. So I had to go to urgent care, and I didn't know what that was going to look like, but they wound up giving me prescribe some stuff for the pain, 'cause it freaking hurts. But I had to get a damn shot, which I'm not crazy about, but I get it. Got to put this ointment and stuff on it and keep it covered. It's just it's gross, and it wasn't a fun experience at all. Keep your dogs on a leash, or keep them within a fence, or what, you know what I mean? Like, just pay attention to them. Because, and I don't, a lot of people are like, you need to call animal control, call the police, report it and everything like that. And yeah, maybe so. And I was mad enough at the time, but, like, I don't want anything bad to happen to the dog. I don't want him to like take the dog in and put him down or something because he hurt me temporarily. I don't know. Just watch your damn pets, please. That's all.
As someone who has had his dog put down because his dog bit a neighbor he was not supposed to bite, sometimes it's like, it's hard to even like, like when the guy called the cops on my guy, it's like, what am I supposed to do? Dude bit the hell out of his leg. Like, you got to do what you got to do. So like, I don't think anybody would begrudge, but I'm with you where it's like, there's not a right move there. But I think next time, on site, on command, no feeling out process, channel your inner Randy Keith Orton and just punt right to the face.
Should have RKO'd him.
Yeah.
Should have RKO'd him. I mean, just hold on like it's kicking off, bro. Just head off.
People who were like, you got to have protection. You got to have. I'm not going to carry pepper spray and a rape whistle on a freaking jog through Fayetteville. I'm not going to do that,
bro. You're John Wick, bro. Just on command, start just blasting, man.
Yeah. No, man, it sucks, man. And like, yeah, when I saw your tweet, it's one of my biggest fears, because that's the thing is like my biggest pet peeve, dude, is just nobody. And there's not a single dog. I do not care. If you're out and about, have it on a leash. If you're in your front yard, have it on a leash. Like, there's no dog that's just like, oh no, it's fine. No, it's not. It's a dog. But man, I have zero tolerance, man. I guess I'm more of a jerk. I would be like, man, I'm calling whoever I need to call to get this dog out of here in case it bites somebody again or some crap like that. But I would Yeah, it infuriated me for you, Curtis, but again, I'm with you. Just be a reasonable and good owner. I know things happen, accidents happen, but there's not a single dog that ever needs to be let off a leash or ever if you're out and about and if you're in your neighborhood or whatever, just be smart about it. But
there were 2 dogs too. That was the shit of it. That's what really got me was it was a boxer that ran out first. I caught him out of the corner of my eye. And so I just kind of did, I just like stopped, put my hands up, and he barked once and he sniffed, and then he went to turn away, and then his buddy ran right behind him, and he did not hesitate. So I don't know if he felt like I was threatening his buddy, or I don't know if it was something to do with that interaction between those two, but he didn't have much patience for my leg, man.
Well, and can I throw this in real quick, just because I want to address this from Finch? He said, if I can pull it up, he says, mine are off the leash, but they also know how to heels, hear, stay, sit, and not just attack people or other animals. Finch, I'm not like hating on you because you listen, do what you need to do with your dog. I'm just saying I wouldn't do it. You may have that, but people don't know that. And that's the same thing when I get frustrated with me if I'm walking my dog or whatever. If the dog comes up and barking at me aggressively, there's people like, oh, they're sweet. Oh, they're not going to do anything. I don't know that. I don't know your dog. And so if the dog comes running up on me or my dog, I'm kicking it. I'm going to punch it. I'm going to I will do whatever it takes to protect myself and the dog. So I get it. It may be, but just for other people's sake, be smart about it. That's all I'm saying. So,
and by the way, no, I didn't have to get rabies shots. Thankfully, I had to get tetanus shot. So
good deal.
Well, Curtis, on a happier dog related note, I saw some pups yesterday walking around the square, and there was like these 3. There was 2 wiener dogs and maybe 1 non-wiener dog. They were all like low slung and hanging low to the ground, and they were soaking wet because it was. I mean, obviously it was raining pretty good yesterday. They were walking around the square at a Strawberry Fest. Right around the same time, I saw Hunter Yurichek walking around the square. He looked very much not in a good mood, and the group I was with, I don't want to out anybody. They were like, let's follow. They were kind of like wanting to approach him, and I was like, let's let him enjoy his Sunday or not enjoy his Sunday. But I almost sent you a picture of these dogs because I was like, you know what, it'll be good for Curtis to see these good-natured weenie dogs just walking around, dragging their chest across the soaking wet ground. I also saw this basset hound that looked like my parents' basset hound, except minus 100 pounds. It was a beautiful I love basset hounds, man.
They make me happy. Those ears, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Those ears were soaking wet too, of course. But my worst of the weekend is honestly just yesterday's weather, because it ruined Strawberry Fest. I don't know if Curtis, I know you went to Strawberry Fest up in Virginia Beach. Well, they brought the show down to Fayetteville. Y'all know the creator of Strawberry Shortcake was there in attendance yesterday on the square, signing autographs, taking pictures, kissing babies, all that stuff. Also had Arkansas. Y'all know about them?
Yeah.
The band. They were there playing, and it's always a good time at Strawberry Fest. But the weather was kind of what ruined it all. And like you said, it looked like an ominous crowd. It looked like the beginning of a horror movie. Like all was coming up over us. After we left Strawberry Fest, which again was cut short due to the weather, which is my worst of the weekend, we went over to the mall. We had to make a quick trip to the mall for a specific thing. And we were driving down Joyce, and there was a fire hydrant that had exploded in the midst of this storm, which quickly turned into hail. And so all of Joyce down there by the mall was flooded. I was driving with like 8 inches of water, just skidding on through. And then they kicked us out of the mall. They were like, the weather's so bad, so everybody has to leave the mall. We're like, what do you mean we have to leave the mall?
Great.
We're closing now because the weather's bad. It's like, what? What do you mean? So yeah, the weather, it just looks scary out there. It was very dark. Just looked like we were about to die. And it looks like we might be going through that today as well. Also, I completely forgot about this. Hillary has tickets to the Halsey concert tonight, which has been canceled now.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, that is rough. Sorry, to go back to your point, the mall closing. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Like, what do you mean you close? Like, it's the opposite. The weather's about to be bad. You need people to stay where they're at and be in a place where they can. You're just gonna send them back on the road. That's dumb.
Dude, what's crazy is it worked out worse for us because we had parked outside of JCPenney, like kind of that area, and we were in a specific store, and like as they were evacuating everybody out of the room, we were still talking to people in the store. They ended up kind of letting us out, but they locked every door in the mall except one door, and it was on the complete other entrance. So we had to walk out that door and then walk all the way outside. Luckily, it had stopped raining by this point, but I was like, "This is crazy."
See, it just makes no sense to me. I don't know why they would do that. It's like, imagine a tornado is like coming towards you. You rushed into this place of business, and then you went in and like, oh, thank you. Like, actually, we're closed. You're gonna have to leave.
No shelter here. Leave.
Yeah. It's like in the mall. Nope. We're fresh out of shelter. So you're gonna have to go somewhere else.
Hey, we don't have to spend much time on this, but I did want to bring it up. I guess worst of the weekend, I guess. But am I the only one that's super annoyed about just with the whole Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese thing?
Yeah,
I'm so freaking over that, man. And the latest drama, just I can't roll my eyes hard enough at seeing. It's ridiculous, man.
Team CC over here. You ain't gotta.
Big facts.
I'm full on Team Clark on this one.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I've been fouled. I was fouled harder in the grocery store with an old lady that ran into me than Angel Reese was by Caitlin Clark on that play, by the way. But I mean, come on. Bro.
I love that they asked Caitlin about it, and she's like, it's a good take foul. I don't like, what do you want me to do? Like,
yeah.
All she can do is make a layup, like 1 out of every 3. So I figured I'd foul her and put him on the free throw line where she's going to miss, and she did. So okay.
Yeah. No, I agree with you, Curtis. I'm just like, why are we doing this, man? Like, why does it have to be this way? It was not that serious. Like, I mean, it's just so strange.
Angel Reese's brother at Maryland plays exactly like her.
I know.
I'm talking about exactly like her, like a kind of a stretch 4, skilled 4, but like pretty much just a layup offensive rebound merchant.
Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah. That's it's just funny though to see everybody have an opinion on it. And then they said that I saw that like the WNBA is investigating these noises that were made. And then it's like people are looking at it. It's like, well, actually, it was mimicking a YouTuber and the way he laughs. I'm just like, what's happening here? Like, what is going on? Like, it just seems like so much regarding a regular, pretty common, normal foul, and it just turns into absolute chaos.
Right, and like it goes without saying, if there are any slurs, anything like that's being shouted out there, don't do that. Like that's not okay. Nobody's condoning that. But good grief, like let's not get carried away here.
Yeah, let's just relax. But no, that was a good one. And in fact, we'll talk about that and a lot of other things as we go ahead and get into a little weekend recap presented by our friends over at BetSaracen. It's the #1 sports betting app in the state of Arkansas for a reason, because they are the best. They have NBA playoffs going on. You're going to have SEC tournaments. You got super regionals going on with the softball team, and each and everything that you could possibly bet on when it comes to sporting events, BetSaracen is going to have you taken care of. So be sure to download the app at BetSaracen.com, or you can also go onto your iPhone or your Android and download the BetSaracen app that way and get to winning big with BetSaracen. So just a few things though we'll get into, and we'll get to some of your final chats as well. I just want to save this video for each and every time that Arkansas ends up losing in postseason or losing too early, which I'm sure they'll never do again. But I just got to play this by Jokic.
We will see, But from now, like next couple of days, there's going to be a lot of beer probably.
Just going to be a lot of beer after they got eliminated from the playoffs. Just going to be a lot of beer probably. So I love that. I love Jokic. Like he's just fun he's fun to watch and fun to do all those things. But it's just really funny. Just after a game like that, just a lot of beer. He's one of us. He's just a normal guy.
They were like, he was great in that, by the way. And they were like, so do you feel like this team, as constructed, can get back to a championship and win another title? And he was like, well, this team as constructed just did not do that. So no, I don't think we can.
No, we've actually just been eliminated from the NBA playoff contention.
Why would I think that, actually? Please get Michael Porter Jr. the hell off my team, and let's do something different.
Goodness. Yeah, nobody hates their job more than Nikola Jokic, and doesn't stop him from being exceptional at his job. In fact, like one of the best ever at his job, but he definitely doesn't like get upset when his season ends, I don't think. Like, it didn't take him long to realize he's like, all right, I'm done for a while.
Well, and I love the fact, again, going back to when they won the title, it's still one of my favorite things. He just won the title. Confetti's coming down on the ground. And the sideline reporter is just like, how do you feel winning your first ever NBA title? It's good. It's good. Job is done. We can go home now. It's like, That dude, if you know, that dude takes his, because it's a job, but it's a job to him. It's not okay, well, we got, a passion where it's just all this stuff. It's like, I have a job to do. I'm going to do it to the best. And then when we win, the job is done. So I can get home and rest. It's kind of like if you have a great day at work, and you get done at 5 o'clock and you're like, oh, it's a great day, but I can't wait to get home. I can't wait to get home and spend time. Same thing I feel like with him. It's like, it's a great day, but I'm ready to go home. I want to see my horses. Like that's
one time they made the mistake of asking him after a game what it means to him to be the first NBA player with a certain amount of 40-point triple doubles. And he was like, doesn't mean a whole lot, if I'm being honest. Like that means nothing to me. That sentence you just said about players that have had this many triple doubles, I don't care. Like that does not mean anything.
Did you see, I guess it was a few weeks ago, it was kind of making the rounds again on social media. It was a NBA draft combine interview that they did with him kind of deal. And like they were asking him about, or maybe it wasn't the draft combine, but it was something along those lines. Anyway, they were asking him about college, like, hey, are you going to play college ball or go to the NBA or whatever? And he was just very much like, yeah, the college game, I've watched some of it. Not really for me. They play fast. Yeah, I'm good, I think.
The jumping. He didn't like the jumping. He's like, they jump a lot. I don't know.
Yeah.
They go fast and they jump. I mean, the worst parts of basketball, really.
It's crazy that Luka and Jokic are better equipped to succeed in the NBA than they are in other leagues. It's crazy. Like Luka averaged like 16, 5 and 5 in Spain, and he was young. He was like 19. It was crazy, but it's like it's easier for them to score in the NBA where everyone else is different. I don't know. It's like a reverse skill set thing. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense, but he's better in the NBA than he would be in college. I actually agree with that.
Yeah. And real quick, another thing I loved him saying when they had asked, because he just had a kid, and somebody asked him like, how do you, what are some things that you can, or can you bring anything to the table as far as the things you've learned in basketball, being a leader and all that, so you being a father? And he goes, nah. He's like, no, I mean, there's just nothing it's completely different. It's like, it's just, it's supposed to be like this inspirational thing. And he's like, nah, it's whatever.
I cannot wait for a TV reporter to ask Dave Van Horn what he's learned about fatherhood while coaching baseball, or what being a father has taught him about baseball on Father's Day when we're in Omaha. That's always a classic. Mm-hmm. Every time he gets it, and he's like, yeah, it's great. I'm good at both.
Yeah. But now they can ask you, be like being a grandfather of triplets. What does that mean to him?
Does this Father's Day hit different for you, Dave?
Yes. Yeah, it does, because I just won it all. So that's how it hits. All right, few your chats. Only Caleb says, if Cal sticks with the 4-4-2 methods, who is on his wish list of freshmen to join JJ?
Another shameless plug for the Pot at the Palace. Check those out from over the weekend, because we went pretty in depth on the guys that Cal was watching in Memphis. Tyron Stokes, yes, top overall prospect. Arkansas is probably in the top 4 or 5 schools, I guess, in the mix for him. Christian Collins is my personal favorite. 5-star wing, 6'8" dude. He's who played against JJ Andrews, beat him, but it was a hell of a game there. But he kind of looks like one of those John Calipari wings. It's super athletic, does a little bit of everything. Those two guys are awesome. If you're looking in the backcourt, Jordan Smith is a really good option. 6'2", 200. I mean, he looks like a freaking SEC running back, and just a super explosive downhill guard that would make a lot of sense. So, there's 3 right there. Add that to JJ, and you got 4. They're not going to get all those guys, but if they were somehow able to get Stokes or Collins, and then get a guy like Jordan Smith there in the backcourt, and you got 3, I would really like to see them go out and get a freshman big man, for that coaching staff and Kenny Payne to work with. It's kind of startling to me that they haven't done that yet in 2 years, because it's a big part of what makes Kenny Payne great as an assistant coach. Like, you're not giving him anything to work with on that front. The problem is the 2026 class kind of stinks by way of big men. Like, there are tall, long, athletic dudes, but there's not very many centers that are ranked highly right now. Some will emerge, but they might need to go to like Europe, or you're seeing a lot of big men come out of the NBA Africa Academy and stuff right now. So maybe they get, 3 traditional guys like that, and then go out and get an international player in the in the post. And I'd be pretty happy with that. I think the 4.
Get one of them skinny boys and throw some meals on them.
Throw some meals. What do they call it? Body by Rich.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See if Winion Gabriel has a cousin. And
Yeah. Also, Mary just said, don't forget about the men's track championship. Yeah, they won the SEC outdoor title, 24th overall. Again, another day at the office. Good for them. Get back to me when they win another national championship, okay? Because that's the only thing we care about at track. Because they have to change their whole flag over there at the outdoor. What is it? 45, I think, is what it's listed at now. So they gotta get to number 46. Let's see. Evelyn wants to know: are y'all planning to going on to Hoover? No.
No, I would love to pretend like I really want to go there. I do like Hoover. I've been twice, and I think everybody should go at least once just to kind of experience it. It's a good time, and I'm sure there's gonna be some fun games there this weekend for Arkansas. But now that it's single elimination, it's really hard, especially Arkansas is hopefully not gonna have to they're not gonna travel for postseason until they get to Omaha. But it's like if you're planning on spending 10, 12 days in Omaha, it's really tough to talk yourself into driving down to Hoover for what could be one game. It's a little bit tough, and there's nothing at stake for the Razorbacks at Hoover this year.
Yeah, I'm with you, Andrew. It's good to go for once, but man, I went 3 times and I'm done. Like I'm done with it. It's cool in some capacity, but there's nothing worse than you going down there and your team going 0-2, and you're like, I just spent 2 days in like Alabama for what? Like everything closes at 9:00, and it's hot. There's a bunch of kids running around screaming, crying about stuff because they dropped their popsicle on the ground. You just want to kick them. It's just the worst. So,
dude, you can die at Hoover too because they like the net is not super far down there and it's not super tall, so balls come right behind, like to the behind home plate, and they hit off of this concrete wall. It's like a concrete wall all the way around. Those balls bounce back hard. I've seen people get hit every single year I go, and I just boom, boom. It's like you got to have a head on a swivel if you're sitting behind home plate, no matter where you're at, because they can ricochet off and bounce any direction. It's crazy.
You could die in Hoover. Just like
die, man. I'm telling you, it's one of the least safe ballparks I've ever seen at this level.
Robert wants to say, is Inside Arkansas going to be at the Super Regional for softball? If so, I need to know when so I can look y'all up. I'm going to go to it. I'm gonna make a point to go. I haven't gone to as many softball games this year as I would have liked, but I'm definitely going to go to at least one game of the Supers this weekend. Hopefully the weather's nice. I know it can change, but looks like it could be another weird weekend for rain and storms and whatnot. So hopefully they find
the season, apparently.
If there's a late night game, that's the one I'll go to. Like if they get pushed back to like 9:45 p.m. Central, that's when I'm gonna find a way to get in.
Yeah. Because Friday, Saturday, Sunday looks like 72, 73, 81 high, but each day has a 50% chance or better of rain and storms. So let's just hope they find a way to make it work. Also, Cannon just wanted to know, because you're talking about the cancellation of that concert. He says, what happens when you get a show gets canceled? You get a refund. Luckily, it's never happened to me.
Pretty sure you just get a refund. I think that's what's happening here. But I was when you were planning on having a night to yourself at the house, you don't get it back.
No. Do you guys remember that whole controversy of the Morgan Wallen concert in Oxford? Remember that?
Oh yeah, when he faked laryngitis.
Man, that was people. And so many Arkansas people were going to that. Oh, they're so pissed off, man. That was. It's like the only concert cancellation I ever remember because so many people were mad about that more so than anything. So, also appreciate this from Patrick. He says, I'm shocked John has no children with his take on kids. I think he's saying, well, I have 5 nephews and I love my nephews. And I listen, everybody likes kids. It's just more of like, there's a lot of chaos going on was my point.
If one of your nephews drops a popsicle at Hoover, are you going to kick it?
No, but I'm going to laugh a little bit. No, what pisses me off is when kids like just full sprints chasing each other in the concourses when there's like old people trying to walk around to their seats. That stuff pisses me off. Like, okay,
stressful.
They got the fields and everything over there for them to run around. Go over there. But when you're running through concourses and knocking over Grandpa Joe, like that's problematic, man. You can't be having that.
Why are all these schools letting out early? Is this coming earlier than expected? I thought it wasn't gonna be until like 5 o'clock.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know either, because I think we even started the stream today with somebody saying, I think it was Sweet Arkansas gal maybe, but saying that they were letting out schools early, which Man, I don't know. Is this, Curtis, is this something where you just got to talk about back in my day? Because I don't remember once us getting let out of school early or anything, even for tornado possibilities. Like they would put us into school and put us in a room because honestly, a lot of times it's safer than what it would be trying to get everybody home. But
oh, bro, yeah, they're like, get in the hallway and tuck your head between your legs. Literally,
Yeah.
that's what they would tell you.
Yeah,
Under a desk. Yeah.
100% safe.
Dude,
Foolproof.
my sophomore year of high school, we missed so many days because of snow that they changed the schedule the second half of the year, where we were in class for each class for 12 minutes longer.
Yeah, I remember snow days getting out early for that, but yeah, when it came to possible bad weather, it's just more like, well, if it happens, we'll get everybody safe. And I remember like some parents would show up and they're like, I'm showing up to get my kid. They're like, don't drive in this storm. Like, we'll take care of them. And they insisted. They're like, and then they wanted to check their kid out. And when they said no, it was just always a problem. So who knows?
Dude, one time when I was at J.I. Barron Elementary School, they had an escaped convict in Pineville, and we couldn't have recess for the entire week because they didn't want the kids outside. They thought the convict was going to come back and scoop us up. So we couldn't go to recess outside for a week.
I always felt like as a kid, I don't know if you guys ever had to do it when PE to walk the white line, which was our gymnasium. You just walk it around. I always felt like looking back on that, that's because my PE teachers were probably hungover at the time and they just didn't want to deal anything. They're like, I just walk the white line. That's all we want to do. Just walk it. But still, let's see. Jose says, this is the perfect time for you guys to branch out into storm chasing. LOL. Send Andrew out there. Oh, sure. Like, I'm sure he'd do well.
Everybody watch Twister tonight.
No.
Jeez, dude. It's like, why?
It's a good movie. It'll make you want to storm chase if you watch it.
Watching it out my window, apparently.
Yeah. Like before I get on a flight, just be like, yeah, hey, watch a movie on the Flight 93. Just watch that before you get on the flight. Yeah, sure. Great. Let's do that. Goodness, man. Like having people get all in trouble out there. What's up?
Guys, it's happening.
What's that?
Is it really?
The storms are coming.
I got to brave the element. Guys, man's got to eat. I got to get to the store.
Well, I guess we're just going to have to hope and pray. But
no bread, no milk. I'm not even going to try.
No milk and bread. That's dumb. That's dumb stuff. Get the good stuff. Get the snacks. But no, for real, everybody stay safe out there. For real. I know that sometimes it looks worse at other places, but don't risk it if you don't have to. Be safe and make sure you have, whether it's your phone, your TV, whatever, just keep up to date on all the things with the weather related stuff. So, because it looks like it could be scary. So no reason in risking it. But any final thoughts, guys, before we roll out of here?
No, that's pretty solid. I echo that. Be safe out there. Be smart. Keep the volume up on your devices. That way you're aware of what's going on. So,
yeah, everybody stay safe, stay alive, and we'll see you tomorrow. And I hope that my power stays on. That's all I have. That's all I have to say.
All you can hope for in this case. But yes, appreciate each and every one of you listening and watching into Inside Arkansas Live. Be sure to like and subscribe to us here on Inside Arkansas YouTube page. You can also check out our audio podcast wherever podcasts are found, whether it's Inside Arkansas Live, Pod at the Palace, or the Bombastic Podcast. And you can also check out our website, InsideArkansas.com, for all the latest and greatest up-to-date information on all things Razorback. So for Andrew Ellis, Curtis Wilkerson, I am John Neighbors. Same sports show, same sports channel tomorrow afternoon. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see